Hello, my fellow MCs, Primo here, and today we are talking about the 5 big mistakes you don't want to make in Honkai Star Rail. Now, I know there's always going to be a dilemma of should I or shouldn't I when it comes to certain things in Honkai Star Rail, and hopefully this video will clear some things up for you. So sit back, grind some Stellar Jade, and let's talk about it. The difference between standard and limited 5-star characters is quite large when you consider scalings and overall utility. Now, this isn't to say that many of the standard 5-stars aren't good, because some are absolutely broken. Bronya and Clara have entered the chat here. But a limited 5-star character generally has more value when you are comparing the two sets of characters. Honkai Star Rail has been quite generous when it comes to the free Stellar Jades, earned through the story and simulated universe catalog, gold Star Rail login events, and the in-game events we have had so far. This has led many players to become confused on how they should properly allocate their funds, especially those that are new to gacha games. Once you exhaust all your abilities to earn free Stellar Jade, you'll come to a point in the game where the only way to obtain more is through patch events and story updates. Thus, you won't have the ability to grind for Stellar Jade. This essentially makes your Stellar Jade much more rare and valuable, and thus much more important to figure out how exactly you want to utilize them. A majority of the time, gold Star Rail passes will not be able to be earned or given out, but will be bought with Stellar Jade, thus making them more rare than a standard Star Rail pass. However, standard Star Rail passes can be earned through multiple avenues in the game. Those ways are Character Ascension, the Battle Pass, Simulated Universe through Herta's Catalog, and the monthly shop reset. For each character in the game, you are able to earn 3 standard Star Rail passes, one at level 20, one at level 40, and one at level 60. If you are leveling multiple characters at once, you can see how you can accumulate quite a bit of standard Star Rail passes for your account. The Battle Pass is able to give you 5 total standard Star Rail passes through the duration of the Battle Pass. 1 at level 10, 1 at level 20, 2 at level 30, and 1 at level 50. Now, I don't personally recommend this, but you can buy Star Rail passes with Herta's bonds through the Simulated Universe Herta shop, but I personally just recommend going ahead and spending it on Herta's 5-star light cone. And for the monthly shop reset, you are able to purchase 5 standard Star Rail passes through Honkai Star Rail's buyback system. The standard banner will always be there to pull, but the limited banners come and go after 3 weeks, only to be seen in 6 to 8 months. Thus, if you really want that limited 5-star character, it's important to use your precious Stellar Jades on the limited banner and not the standard. One of the biggest mistakes you can make in this game is building a team that can't handle enemy weaknesses. Especially when facing main story bosses or elite enemies in the simulated universe, it's very difficult to mitigate the damage of these enemies without wearing down their toughness bar to give your team time to heal and gather skill points. Even when I first started the game, I never truly understood the combat system and why I couldn't just go all in with my favorites and do raw damage, regardless of the element used. But I found over time that swapping out with multiple teams based on the enemy being fought against, and not just based on your personal preference, really does help bring convenience and comfortability to the account. As I got further and further into the game, my mentality changed from a my team mindset to an adapt to the enemy mindset, and thus my team choices reflected that. Now, for Silver Wolf havers, you can rejoice in your mono element supremacy, because you never have to worry about this issue arising, and I'm sure as more units get added in, your usefulness will only go up when we are able to configure more mono element teams for all elements. Now, I'm sure in a year's time, this may become an irrelevant point, but for those beginners that are just starting to experience Honkai Star Rail for the first time, please don't get trapped using a mono wind team or a mono physical team. I'm just here to warn you. Now, it may look tempting, especially early on, to just level all traces for all characters since they are so cheap. However, being able to identify which traces you won't level up will definitely be able to help you later on with the resources you save. Most characters do not need to utilize their basic attack, as it's a low scaling single target damage hit with no utility other than adding a skill point for the entirety of the team to use. It's just not worth the resources to upgrade to see your overall DPS increase by a couple percentage points, and even then the utility of this attack is very situational. I have made this mistake on several of my characters, ranging from Dan Heng and Welt to more recent units like Jing Yuan. I realized after a couple upgrades that it just isn't worth leveling, and I'm hoping you won't make the same mistake as myself. I've seen this happen too many times, and I have to warn you, do not use your embers on trace materials. You have to play the long game with your ember spending and make sure you always have enough saved up to be able to afford, at the very least, the gold star rail passes. In my opinion, obtaining the trace materials is a short-term solution for impatience, when you can just wait for your Trailblaze power to reset the next day. In the long run, you'll regret the choice of spending on those trace materials when you see you have 2 to 3 star rail passes left in the shop at the end of the month. My recommendation is to always have about 2 months worth of embers saved in advance for the shop resets. Especially if you are a saver like me and only warp every couple weeks to a couple months, you'll need those backup funds so you aren't having to warp on a banner just to accumulate ember. I would, however, recommend spending your ember on the tracks of destiny, as these are very limited in-game and are only attainable through events, shop resets, and weekly simulated universe. These are going to help get your bonus traces for all of your characters. Everybody loves free tickets, and the buyback system in Honkai, although not great, can be a nice little reward every month for those that are smart with their ember currency. Do not be one of those players on the outside looking in when the shop resets and your tickets are just left there. One can make an argument to not build March 7th and fire Trailblazer MC, although I strongly recommend you do so. But if there is any character that is a must build in Honkai Star Rail, that character has to be Natasha. With her overall kit, team importance, and being a free-to-play unit, it is a no-brainer that she needs to be built up to help with your overall team survivability. Natasha's kit is quite simple. She's an HP scaling character whose primary focus is to heal her allies through the use of her skill and ultimate. Her entire kit is centralized around her total HP, so players do not have to worry about stacking attack or defense on her, making her an easy to build unit. Her skill is able to heal a single ally, while her ultimate is able to heal all allies, which can be very helpful in a pinch when you need to spam her ultimate while the opposing team is attacking. Her talent is something that shouldn't be slept on either, as it boosts her outgoing healing bonus when the ally's HP is below 30%. For FPP players, the relic set Passerby of Wandering Clouds is given for free as you progress through the main story, so that can be a placeholder till you start farming for relic. So for new or old players who need a friendly reminder, Natasha and Jin need to be built. They are essential for any account until you can obtain an upgraded healer in Bailu or Locha, and even then, Natasha is still able to hold her own against them. And with that, this will end our video on the 5 big mistakes you don't want to make in Honkai Star Rail. By no means are these mistakes account altering or account ruining, it's just stuff I've come across on my own journey, and I'm hoping that you won't emulate my own personal experience to make your Honkai Star Rail journey that much better. If you guys like the content, please like and subscribe. Comment down below any other mistakes that you've done on your own account so we can help out all of these new players that are coming into Honkai Star Rail. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.